Hey, and what's up? What's up again? I hope you're good, I hope you're peachy, I hope you're stellar, and I hope you're in a neat little bunch. It's your girl, Karabo. And it's a new day. It is. And that's how we started. Okay, so, I just gotta put out there that I apologize excruciatingly, profusely, for my white cast sunscreen. It's gonna be a thing. I'm also sorry about my toed up from the flow up hair, but it's my hair, and we keep it. I don't want to wear a wig, because I have something to share concerning everything that's gone down on my physite, and we're gonna share. Alrighty, that's like my coughing. Say hi to my coughing. They call it a shade. I don't know. It's a car thing. Say hello to my creased t-shirt. It is what it is. It's how we roll in these streets of unemployment, okay? Because I'm yet to get the job that I need, that I can escape essentially working for surveillance. Yo, listen up, okay? Ooh, look at that. Is that just not giving? Except it's not. Ang sinanda. Mamela. Alright? Today it's an alright day. It could be better. Just as with any other day that I deal with in these streets. Could be alright. Could be better, but it's just alright. Okay. Oh no. Mom remembered Melrose. Okay, my lipstick is literally running away from my lips for no other reason than the fact that it feels like it's forest for the day. Run, forest, run. Okay. Thank God for coffee. Did I just waste time just speaking smack? Absolutely nothing. It's alright, because I'm about to speak much deeper matters. Listen, you guys. Life is like that song. Life, oh life, oh life, oh life. And following which, there's just like nothing else that you can say after that. So therefore, ditch, abandon, skip, hop, bounce, whatever you want to do, just don't stay in a grain. I'm tired of darkness. I'm exhausted with the filth of the earth. But it doesn't really matter that that's a thing because I know switch off Wi-Fi. I did. So switch off Wi-Fi. Yeah, because then it eats a whole bunch of battery. Quicker. Yeah, I just wasted a whole bunch of time. If you're still with me, gracious are you. Are you not? Alrighty, y'all. You know what? The Bible says in John 15 that the world hates disciples, right? Essentially, long story short, we lack respect. We just don't get respected. What we gotta say, don't nobody respect it. They look at what we're doing like we're bored. And my thing with that is, okay, it's alright. If you think I'm bored, it's all good in the head. Like, nobody gets to rock up and entertain you when you don't want to be entertained. If at all doing the work of Jesus is the work of boredom, then it's alright. Let me find ways around this horrifically boring day. Yeah, let me create around it. Because there are certain kinds of entertainment that are not entertainment. It is basically just the desecration of your person because you're just humoring something or somebody at the horrible and quite exquisite peril of your soul. I'm tired of speaking about the same things time and time again. Alright, look, if at all you do not have respect in these streets, you gotta respect oneself, you know what I'm saying? Cause literally nobody else is gonna have that back for you. I don't know how to deal, but I guess I don't have to know how to deal because Jesus is Lord, and that's just like a whole thing. Like my toe up from the flow up hairdo. Over here, noma, inwele zam zigugile. Bottom line is ezam, and I get to decide ukuthi ngenza bomahwat ngazo. Even when my hair is old, bottom line is it's my hair, and I get to decide what I want to do with it. Long story short, Craig K's 40, and that makes me old in some circles. And guess what? I get to do what I want to do with my 40 years of age. I get to make that decision. Nobody else but the 40-year-old in question. So, the level of disrespect that I am enduring as a result of my age and my alleged recommendations that keep on getting slapped in my general direction. To settle, not doing it. If my scalp is itchy, it's for me to scratch. If my chin is itchy, it's for me to scratch. Or to leave it throbbing and itching and just pulsating. But it's mine to do that with. There is no single section, square kilometerage or meterage or square centimeterage of my being. Because yes, sometimes it's square kilometers because God makes us great. Yes. It's for me to do with it what I want insofar as I honor Jesus. And disrespect in these uneasy South African streets is like my white car sunscreen. Shouldn't be there. My white car sunscreen should not be there. It should be a tinted sunscreen. I should not be struggling with looking all ashy during the day. But like it's there because I'm temporarily in a situation that's not fitting for me. I'm poor. Yes. So because I'm poor, Chiki just settling for some sunscreen that was the cheapest around. Just so she can prevent herself from aging like milk in the refrigerator that has not been long-lived. So that I can be viable should there be a need. For me to be viable for some dude in these streets to look at me and be like, this at last is bone of my bone, flesh of my flesh. And that guy actually be like, I don't know, a human being that's normal. A human being that's normal. A person that does not just dedicate their might, splendor, oomph, and everything of their girth in getting what they want anyway, even when it does not want them back. Coercion, you guys. Let's have a discussion about coercion. It is the work of Satan. It clearly is the work of Satan. Obvious. Okay. And anybody that is out here in these streets roaming around in it is of the devil. I do apologize, guys. Right, to those who are severely demon-possessed. I can't relate, but I can only empathize because the stuff that these people do is so bizarre that you're not all there. Like, you can't possibly be all there. And granted that you're not all there, really, all that absenteeism in the brain, yeah, no, it's going to achieve some haughty, unimaginative fruit, okay? And insistences. And it's not gonna work. So we understand. Look, I'm unemployed. I don't have a job. And word is that apparently I have prospects. I don't want to go there. Yeah. I did a video the other day and I was speaking about how it is that I'm not about that business. I'm not gonna be surveilled. Ako Hlongwane because ke postile mo online something. I'm not gonna get yelled at or recommended that I do differently. I'm not gonna be told to sit on a chair in a 90-degree position or to recline in an obtuse angle. I'm not going to be told to put my feet up or to put them down or take off my shoes when I enter the house or not when it's my own house. I'm like proper. I am not going to be explained to why it is that it is imperative for me to walk left as opposed to right when I'm 40. I'm 40, you guys. Like, whoa. 4 whole decades I've been in existence roaming the streets of South Africa. And in all that time, only 18 of them was I under any kind of controlling force that had every right under heaven to control me. But as soon as I turned 18, I was like, oh, I'm an adult according to the country, yay. So it would be great if you just let me make my own decisions now. And then for a season, South Africa had respect for that. They were like, okay, she's 18, she's 19, she's 20, she's 27. We will treat her like an adult. But then I turned 29. And just before my 30th birthday, it's like there were these noises. Dang, 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 that approached me like a projectile, unexpected from out of nowhere, about to land exactly where I'm at, squashing me to my demise. Of disrespect, just comprehensive disregard of the fact that, like, since the age of 18, generally, like, largely, like, mostly, you know, the world was cool with the fact that I'm an adult and they treated me that way. Employers, sisters, brothers, girls, boys, everybody in these streets had respect for me. They kept themselves cushioned in a bunch like my tissue. Keeping my snot cushioned in a bunch that you don't have to see it and be grossed out. I don't have decorum because I'm poor. And we're gonna discuss all that poverty just now. But yeah, listen, you guys, right? So here it is that largely, I mean, of course, everybody goes through these uneasy streets with this weird one or two people just slapping you with lack of respect. Every so often you're gonna get people that just don't care that you're a grown woman or a grown man. Yeah, they manufacture them in these streets, and those people suck. Like, they really don't have your life on a platter like it's there for them to eat. And largely the majority of the world around looks at them on some don't come disrespect such an old person. So because the world kind of stands with you, you're good. Because the world stands with you when somebody disrespects you when you're all like 90, you know, you tend to shrug off disrespectful randos as next time, one day is one day, after school is after school, and then they leave you. You make it known. You proclaim on a rooftop that you disrespected me. And if they don't respect you, other people will certainly stand with you on some don't come and disrespect this human being over here. Don't you see it's a whole grown person? They're a whole chunky, fully grown specimen. And so because you tend to be protected and regarded as on the right when people are obviously wrong, yeah, the disrespectful buffoon in the room shuts up eventually. That's how most of us go through life. When we get disrespected, we raise it and others agree. Especially when you are overtly right. Like when you are obviously like out of here, like, do we? Right. Yes. Yeah, but then Karabo gets to 29 years old after having experienced a wonderful earth of that nature. That planet, say hello to my coffee, it's got herbs in it. I'm not drinking dirt water. Yeah, that planet that Karabo was genuinely able to sort of kind of, you know, agree that respect me, I'm older now. Yeah. It just went into some canyonic abyss, sinking, maybe even twisting in a vortex, going into molten lava in the center of the earth and incinerated forever, never to rise again. That would be the way that people treated me. Now that I was like, I don't know, dealing with some stuff. Amen. Disrespect, okay? Disrespect. Like, I'm 29. Yo, I'm about to hit 30. Gah. Like landing on the floor with your teeth breaking. Like 30. Gah. Yeah, that was about to happen. And I hit the floor. 30. Gah. Yo, whoa. God have mercy. And people treated me worse than they did when I was 16. What? People treated me worse than they did when I was 7 and throwing my toys out the cart because my mom didn't want to buy me a toy. When I was 5, people treated me worse than when I was out here crying for no reason as a 5-year-old child. And I'm like, what is going on here? Is this like some kind of regression? What's happening? I don't get it. Yeah, I got disrespected and yelled at and shouted at like I was a baby, a child. But like I was 30. I was 30 gargantuan years old. Literally, I had made 3 decades on the earth. I lived, I made it. Let's celebrate the fact that we survived past 29. Yeah. And all that disrespect happened for no other reason than the fact that, listen, you guys, okay. No other reason than the fact that I got wrongfully accused for doing stuff I obviously couldn't have possibly done, with evidence yawning in my favor, but nonetheless completely disregarded by those encircling my ecosystem, because they literally had it in for me. Victim mentality, you might say. Well, not everybody's out to get you, but I promise you on that day, they were. They mobbed me. Jealous freaks mobbed me. And I was treated like a bambino. And I couldn't understand why in the world under heaven I experienced better respect as a 12-year-old girl. But like, I'm 30 now. I'm 30. But like, as a 12-year-old girl, people generally had more respect for me than what I was experiencing at that juncture. I had charges trumped up against me that were obviously false, and just like I spoke the other day, a wicked world that knows that they've been busted, caught red-handed with their hand in the cookie jar, but that nonetheless is supported in their thievery, will brazenly, overtly, outwardly, and before all, showy, ornate, cantankerous, clamorous like a circus, have no regard for the fact that you've been caught, insofar as people are happy to support them in their thievery. So here it is that these people have got obvious indiscretions that they're walking in. They are wrong in a provable capacity, but since nobody cares, Karabo was then, in broad daylight, brazenly just disreputed, while obviously innocent. while exculpatory evidence in favor of her was yawning like a baby about to sleep. That was a thing. And I watched all this bizarre activity happening in the left and on the right of me, on the left and on the right, and I was like, Jesus, ay, Caesar God mio, I need you, Jesu Christe. How do you be godly in the center of all this insanity? I would love to basically just kind of share with my gargantuan vocabulary how I feel about this thing. Help me be godly and not basically just kind of vomit stuff that, I don't appreciate what's going on type stuff. I watched a conglomerate of grown men and grown women lie in broad daylight and have literally everybody support them, with me having a paper trail, black and white printed, nothing redacted, evidence to favor my particular cause, and yet it was just flagrantly ignored. Oh, Jesus. I was like, Lord God Almighty, what's going on right now? Oh, Jesus, help me. I am dying inside. Ooh, yeah. I sang it, I spoke it, I lyrically shared it like poetry. Help me, Jesus! I even tried to rhyme so people would heed me, but nobody did. I was disrespected overtly and outwardly by a crazy conglomerate of human beings, and I was like, whoa, what's happening over there? Oh, yes, shocked. And it carried on happening for like an entire decade. Whoa, look at that. I lost my job. Completely innocent, okay? So now I'm like poor and unemployed. Sister girl out here roaming the South African streets as an arme skepsel. I'm poor. I ain't got no money, but I'm in need. Oh, I ain't got no money, but I'm in need. Help me. Looking like I'm gonna die. Give me money. And then Jesus was like, relax, Plum, make like a flower chill. Even the pagans need these things, but I got your back. I was like, thank you. I was like, thank you, son. Yabonga, good. But like, mina ngiboni the provision set up things, something. Angiboni. But like this provision that I didn't see made clear. It was obvious. It was in the physite that I was being provided for. But you see, just that's just the thing. What I was being provided for was, enough. Ish, son. Y'all know how that feels, right? Have you ever been a kid, like, in a household, black family especially? And your grandmother or your mother cooks, and you be like besotted with some chicken and stuff, and then they give you like lingwapan, like it just scratches you over lintwana. Yeah. Aysan, lingwapan la lintwana, like this little chicken foot is literally scratching you the way it's so armaskipsil, Sierra Lone stock alien on your plate, something. And it's like, but why is this my life? Our parents were slech, you guys. Our grandparents were slech. It's like, yo, kids need protein. They're growing actually more than you. But like somehow they always used to just steal protein away from us. We could never have enough peanut butter. We could never have enough peanuts. Or any other kind of nuts for that matter. We could never have enough chicken on the plate. Or beef. Nothing. Cause Rona, they would clobber us. Clobber me! They would clobber us with pap. Like a whole bunch. Like, I'm gonna burp. Amen. That's what we do. Ipapengag. On the plate of a kid, like, yo, why are you setting me up for failure? You know that you're gonna give me grief if I don't finish my food, but how are you gonna put so much rice or pap or some other starch with little gravy and gaga make a dollop something on your plate? Just a dollop of gravy. So now, this like pap is like an island on your plate, and this gravy is like a tree plant. Yeah, a tree planted on your plate. And then the chicken, is like some shrubs growing in the distance that are sparsely scattered because there hasn't been enough manure, enough fertilizer to make a bountiful green patch of land. So it's like sparsely grown grass. Hey, that's patchy, that's been stood on. Barely recognizable, has no glory, but it's there. But the island, this rocky, dry island, that's the majority of your plate. Yeah, and then they will put some like vegetables as in ninja cabbage. Hang on. It's like, what did I do to deserve all this cabbage? They will put my carrots and gaga. They will, yeah, with a dollop of gravy. And then one that's gonna scratch your face. And this much vegetables in the corner, they're not even well done, they're not well cooked, and they're gonna expect you to finish that food. And it's like, Mama, why are you setting me up for failure? Give me an incentive. Saving the best for last. Give me 2 pieces of chicken, maybe 3. Or even 1.5. And the thing is, give me like a not a wing, baby tangy one, drumstick or thigh, you know? Breast I giving it that's nicely edible and chewy. Inka ising the yeah. Give me a little bit more to run with, okay? If you are gonna, if you are going to insist that I finish my food, positively reinforce me at the end of my eating cycle with some actual meat. Give me meat. What's wrong with you? Okay, fine. Give me gravy. Give me gravy so I can down this dry pop. Gamnandi itelle mete nakupa gravy. Fair gravy. But nah, because you're a child, first and foremost, your plate has the most pop, the most nasty vegetables, the least meat, and the least gravy. While you look at your daddy plate, and you look at your grandmama plate, and you look at basically the plates of all the older people, and they've got like 2 pieces of chicken, gravy that is rather like the island, while the pap is like the tree in the center. So, go fill up pizza ya gravy. Ba itshela mo godima pizza, mo godima papa ya ntate wa hao. Nkare ke molten lava volcano. Yeah, on top of this like plate. It's like you could have given me half of daddy's pap. But not pap, what do you call it? Like gravy, at least share. Cause this dude, gravy is literally swimming on the plate. But like in a dollop. Dollop. Guys, I've got a dollop of gravy. But my dad is eating pap with an ocean of gravy, and there's like some left after he's done. And this dude got chicken. This Oki got some beef. More plating. Why are you doing this to some children listening? So your dad, ne, is eating pressed down chicken together and running over your grandmother. Well, when showing it just enough. Yeah. When I just enough. Because apparently you had it coming. Beggars can't be choosers. You are the one being provided for here, girl. You ain't providing for nobody. And until such time that you can buy your own shiggy, don't be out there asking for an extra, like chicken's wing or a chicken lentwana or something. They treat you like Oliver. If you've read that book, Oliver Twist, it says, Oliver, never before has a boy wanted more. When you go for seconds, okay, but pizza Oliver. It's not like they're starving you. You have got a mountain of pap. You're not gonna go hungry. You're just not going to eat delicacies. That's the thing. And it's like, Mama, Daddy, have you ever heard of kwashiorkor? Have you ever heard of kwashiorkor? Hey, it's a protein deficiency disease that happens in some kids in Africa who are made to eat nothing but wheat. All they eat is pap. All they eat is maize meal, but they don't get protein. Do you want me to get kwashiorkor? Like, Mama, do you want me to get kwashiorkor? Like, if you look at all these kids and their big bellies, you know how kids have got these big bellies. I'm thinking that's like part-time kwashiorkor. It's like half kwashiorkor. It's a little bit of kwashiorkor. Not too much. You know, they are nourished enough to it look like baby fat. But I promise you, little girls and little boys, especially in the black community, make it's kwashiorkor. Get kwashiorkor, guys. Because we don't get protein. We don't get protein. Harafuinam, guys. We don't get given inyama. Ne gravy, at least maybe the protein that will have come off in broth ko gravy. Maybe it will come into our bones, right? So, gravy. We drink gravy. At least maybe the protein got extracted from the chicken during the cooking process. So, Dolop. Dollop. They will give you a dollop of gravy. And you gotta just take it in your stride, yo. Uplom and just like a dollop. And be like, yo, it's kwashiorkor. That's why these kids got become. Little girl be all just skinny like a twig and yet kwashiorkor. Just admit. Moms and dads, just admit that you gave your children malnutrition because you don't want to give them chicken. Let's buy Skelem. You gonna go give a man more pieces of meat than he needs at the sad expense of his daughter. Sad expense of his little niece. Little nephew. But like they're not gonna see more chicken on their plate than lentwana. Let's pass. Let's scarce. Lay patileng. Lentwana. So like which we should say, like just nibbling on it, just little bites and develop to savor it, because you're in like the deal when there is no reward at the end of an eating session as a child. When they're telling you finish your food, it's real hard to get through that mountain of pap, but there is punishment. So negative reinforcement to be endured if you don't finish that pap something. So kids are not eating all that pap because of the reward in the end of eating meat, saving the best for last. They are eating it because of the punishment for not eating. So it's still all operant conditioning. It's negative reinforcement to finish the food on your plate, even though it's inducing kwashiorkor. In your bones, there is some kind of malnutrition, but at least you got to live to the age of 10, to the age of 16. Watola figa hauna the 16. Because this time around, at least so you can buy, like, kotale ration, go tuck shopong at school. So you are getting your protein needs met. You tend to, when you get to teenage years, be a little bit more respected in terms of the protein portions on your plate versus the vegetable portions and the starch portions. But when you are still like 7, 5, 6, 12, I know kwashiorkor. You suffer from kwashiorkor. You will endure kwashiorkor that doesn't look like kwashiorkor because everybody be like, no, it's just a little girl. She'll grow into her baby fat. She'll grow into her body. But like, nah, mama, lona, malnutrition, just admit, like, report to the authorities because you're not feeding me. But mama is feeding you, just not a balanced diet. Because Gusti, Chikunjal in the black community, our kids are not fed proper meat portions. They are being taught lessons like eat the veggies, eat the mountain of pap or rice, and savor the best for last. Sial for the end, hey, so that it can be worth a while. Otherwise, you are gonna get spanked for refusing to finish papa. They're gonna shove it down your throat. You've got the appetite of a grown man. Papa ya how? Proportionally in comparison to yantatwa how? Ikima. Because it's smaller in size. Given that you're a child. Proportionality. It's too much for a child, man. It's too much. Especially when it's got a dollop of gravy on it. But they don't see things like that. They went through the same thing when they were babies. Yeah, and they turned out apparently allegedly alright, didn't they? They turned out alright. They had a mild case of kwashiorkor as 7-year-old kids, but then as like grown men and women, banality 6-pack. Alright. So it works out. There we go. Romans 8:28. All things work out together for the good of them who love the Lord and are called according to his purpose. Ikwashiorkor yako. Ikulisile girl, and it helped you to basically survive. It helped you respect delayed gratification. It helped you recognize that Maukula, going through milestones, like Pac-Man, you get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, and then you get rewarded with more and more things. You get more shigion on your plate because you turned 14, because you turned 15, because you turned 16. You've got the body of a growing teenager. So now you get carry allowance how you increase, and you buy a hot dog at the tuck shop in school. So now you've got like a 6-pack. The kwashiorkor of a 4-year-old, 5-year-old child is gone because now you have earned your keep. It worked out, didn't it? Look at that. It worked out. So I went to Jesus Christ. Here it is that these disrespectful randos in these streets on the left and on the right of a sister K. They don't care that I'm 29 years old. They don't care that I'm turning 30 that same year. They don't care that since the age of 18 I've been largely respected for how old I am. Yeah. They just didn't care. It was just shocking because I was completely innocent. I was completely innocent. I was the right one here with literally documentation and everything to back. I had documentation to back up my innocence, but that's just the way that the world is in the last days, isn't it? Good is called evil and evil is called good, and those into extortion and bribing and hiding things under tables help each other along. And I was dealing with a batch of colleagues that were no longer collegial. I get to burp. A batch of colleagues that were no longer collegial, but they had it in for me. Bang! things grew. And while it seems bizarre, you know how that saying, Karabo, not everybody is against you, like when so many people club together, band as miscreants, mutineers against your life. Only one. Those who gaze upon this activity, who are spectators of it, will be inclined to imagine everybody can't be wrong. It's just so sad. They will say everybody can't be wrong and deliberately, confirmation bias, essentially ignore the evidence that you have. I was ignored at the CCMA. I was ignored by the Legal Aid Board. I was ignored by anything that could ignore me because all my colleagues agreed that I had to go when literally the paper trail was supporting me. It was echoing, resonating, sounding like a choir, like mellifluous orchestric music in favor of me. I have documentation supporting my case. It's not word of mouth, hearsay. Hey, burden of proof is on you, Karabo. Yeah, I agree, the burden of proof is on me, and I have it, a wad of evidence. And it was just ignored. Y'all. I don't want to get emo. But like, it was sad, and it was an awakening, a rude one, for me to wake up and see that, yeah, but I know the Bible does say that this is a thing, but to actually go through it, man, the world really does hate disciples. It was bizarre. I went through the worst, most bizarre disrespect of my person, and it's still going on like a whole decade later. But you see, I've established and developed some internal shock absorbers in that now. I just kind of expect it. And my defense mechanism has been to be kind of feisty and self-respecting, self-protecting, self-guarding, and shooty. Like, I got bullets in my mouth. Yeah, and I vomit them, boo, 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 like in the movie The Mask. I'm feisty in a way that I never used to be. That feistiness of which God has been dealing with it, because you gotta be gentle when you rebuke the wicked. But I can't help every so often to put it out there, proclaim on the rooftops that, hello, I turned 18 literally 10,000 years ago. Ever since then, I've been like a whole grown adult. Alright? And largely people were cool with it, but then I only got to enjoy that for like 10, 11 years. Being an adult, I got to enjoy just, to make my own life decisions. Yeah, up until 29, you disrespect but some had no footprint of disrespect, and AMTN, my colleagues, and it just kept on happening. Still to this day. Sing na 40. Guys, 40 big ones, chunky, big ones. Na 40. 4 decades have come and gone. I am a grown woman. I am a middle-aged woman, officially. And I am still so bizarrely disrespected. Like, it's bizarre. Like, just the lack of regard for the fact that I said no. That for me is the biggest one, eh? Like, just not taking no for an answer. It doesn't get old. But one thing that it has taught me is that the Bible obviously is a supernatural book. The words therein are living and active, sharper than a double-edged sword, able to separate between bone and marrow, soul and spirit. It's quickening, because how in the world can the scriptures be so accurate to describe what is going on? What's happening? How in the world is the Bible so able to accurately explain the experience of a disciple? Bizarre is what we go through. And the scriptures also then say that what you're gonna go through is also gonna be bizarre. There's no other word but bizarre. Just bizarre. Weirdo, creepy stuff. And when all that bizarre stuff happens, then it proves to me that everything else is true in the Bible, including the hell that all those who treat me in a bizarre fashion are going. Yeah, all those that are going to hell are definitely going there, because my experiences have been hand to glove described in this book. This beautiful book. I chose Jesus at 26 and a half, and for 3 years I was trained up, largely still respected, and then God was like, now it's the Hunger Games, baby girl. Put a napkin in your shirt and start to eat dirt. Oja dasti. So put your napkin in and prepare to have some ashy lips, prepare to have dusty shirts, prepare to eat dust. But remember, count the cost of being a disciple. Lanza ba go fepa le role. Nna hegel. Ga go tlogela. Nna ga o tlo tsamaya mo minaisa. And then mina, as God, you're not going to leave me. And you as my disciple, I'm not going to let you fall. Ngatshelwa ukuthi ngizotsha i-dust. I was told that I'm going to consume lerole. Santa seretse. Yes. How is it like I'm medzinyana? Because you need hydration. Eba seretse. I was made to eat sand, soil, dust, mud. Any kind of variation of the earth because of how people insisted on humiliating me, shoving my face into the ground and saying, you're going to stay there. Hey, it's written in Isaiah 50, I think, 2. I read from it the other day, or 51, that they will say to you, lay down on the floor, sister girl, that we might walk all over you. One of these days, these boots are gonna walk all over you. God said that first, and then they made it a song. Yeah, God said that they would make you walk all over them, that they would literally say, lay yourself prostrate on the floor like a thin sheet, like a flat bread, that you might be rolled over. Like a rolling pin. Yeah, you're puff pastry girl. Let them roll you, and then fold you, roll you, and then fold you, and then ovening. When I put you then in the oven, you're gonna rise many layers, just like puff pastry. Go in the oven, ingag. Come out ingaga, oh boofy. Yeah, the Lord was like, yeah, I'm making puff pastry out of you, but all they think that they're doing is just rolling you on the floor. Lay yourself prostrate on the floor that we might walk on you. And God said, baby, they don't know that I'm making out of you some beautiful custard Danish or croissant, cause you that baked good that comes out crispy and lovely. I was like, yeah! No, Mara, this is rough, God. Rough my life thing. Nagi holiday situation na holiday anymore. If you don't go nari, ito tukila ninyi momina sa situation na inayang kimela. Ipokete. Marina J. So, rakiboni situation na nangkara ito si Bensa. If you don't go in a tanta ifela situation because in kutu sa bakla ka pinamina sa isir. But to bana banaladi pilit sa mafi, tamudimo. Baba fila bati pakan site. Listen, Danny, habang mo bebang tuta harin na kinagwan siya po ilang satane. Marima kisilang gawin situation na nakihain kakakela. Harin sang mayo na once and for all na rin sa mga sikilaman. Harin sa mayang marima. Harin sa mayang. Because mana, harin bakit hutli ako obviously. Ay gawin ba chiki mo ba tipsi niya ka. Lala milay sa bangki wila leda. Bangka pa rin ng kariki leda. Mudi bangkin sa leda. So please, nakilakala leda. Kilakala mo chafiliting. Kinala mo, yung maharadi lang sa taminay sa kahe mamarahaba na taba. Just harin sa may. Yeah, so I mean, disrespect ew, kaufela. It has been furious. Langkudra. Disrespectful. People out here literally telling you, lie on the ground like a flat bread, girl, and let us walk. And I was like, as I walk down the road, I will wait on Jesus. I will rise and I will walk with him, and he will walk with me till the stars don't even shine. Walk with me every time I tell you he'll walk with me. Walk with me. Believe me, I'll walk with you. Bye-bye. I was like, Mudi mo bang pile bye-bye? They gave me a bye-bye. I don't know why I keep looking for this scripture. Okay. Kininsige ba sa mo life kininsige ba sa mo life marahan kike tolay na working kan na kisa kupule hore imokay. Mo life hagi kalohan yung mara kaya di ko para buwing. Hagatloting. Disrespect ne mudi mo harifile. Okay. How ya matata? Asinitiyo. Kimo crazy. Unalimator. Kinalimator. Scripture. Kay Barker, can say the preaching more naman. Kaya hupula na on a day, kibuti barbel. And then kay troller. Merge one of high solitary. It's a ring of kilibutzer. Cause what's about the body studying chonna? I can't really ball, Lamara. Wait a hotel, what I went to open the amnesia. How's it hotel, Hakana, Obo nna ke tlhokafetse mara ke a phela. Hey banna no. Come on in, cause Holy Scripture guys, Scripture seminars. Okay, great. I found it. Isaiah 51:23. Taloso. I keep on trying to explain over and over again what's going on in these streets, but don't nobody care. Don't nobody care. 51:23. The ones that make out of you it dormant. Jefela on some plum. 51:23. Come on, you said it was 51:23. Okay, told you on 51:23. So let's read 51:22 from 22. In Isaiah 51:22, it's written, "Thus saith thy Lord the Lord, and thy God that pleadeth the cause of his people. Behold, I have taken out of thine hand the cup of trembling, even the dregs of the cup of my fury. Thou shalt no more drink it again, but I will put it in the hand of them that afflict thee, listen, which have said to thy soul, bow down." You know, in the Bible, it's so accurate to describe situation now. Another why this is happy Lindsay. Why this is happy Lindsay, who is Jesus? Why this is happy Bible? How describe my accuracy able to go again. Since our lives are being described with so much stellar accuracy, proof. How you gonna go disrespect Mfazi? Kulile past the age of 18. Purely because she gave her life to Christ, and then have a whole bunch of miscreants band together against her in a very bizarre fashion, with the whole world believing rather what they're saying when she's got evidence in favor of her, supporting her. And yet the world literally ignores her with exculpatory evidence gawking, her innocence being stuck to everybody, and anyone at all that is a spectator to the situation wagging their head on some "this is bizarre," and yet doing nothing, or choosing to believe those that are lying. Because all these people can't be wrong. They can't be wrong. Like when you get nyatsat, when people bagong khengela, ditshila tsa ko dustbining because 20 people lied against you. Ba le maka kaofela ona le evidence mara. Ha ona motho batlang go mamela. They don't even want to look at your documentation. When you open your mouth, they say pity party lo muntu sob story. When people listen, when they hear you talking about what you went through and reacting at his sob story, why is it describing and then on that day, girls in anger? You know that on that day the Bible then described what you're gonna go through. That's why we don't drop the ball on Christ, y'all. We don't drop the ball because he described with like painful accuracy what we would go through, what we would go through. Hand to glove accuracy, and so that's why Rosanzamai. Because forewarned is forearmed. Isaiah, but I will put it in the hand of them that afflict thee, which have said to thy soul, bow down, that we may go over. And thou hast laid thy body as the ground, and as the street to them that went over. One of these days, these boots are gonna walk all over you. Yeah, no. They lay you on the ground, but bow down, and even then, not a Persian rug, something cheapy. It's on Chinatown. Just lie down, walk, dust off. Hey, yeah. Mutokenaka, haram bupilo bakaho. Abato pumledi at the Hatsem daga, it's Mumilin. I expect or one Lord Sayadi dang in your strike. It's him on thing. Madimu has this to say, Baba ho afflictan kabotoko hakanda basanang maizam. Gelzina, I am going to put the cup of their insanity into their hands. I will put it into the hand of them that afflict thee, which have said to thy soul, bow down that we may go over, and thou hast laid thy body as the ground and as the street to them that went over. King James in Hlongwane, because that's Shakespearean language in Nayanke. Mara bottom line is you were able to get the gist of the matter. They say lay yourself prostrate on the floor that we might walk all over you. When Christ tells you that this is going to happen and it happens, why would you want to leave? When prophecy is this accurate to describe what you're going to go through, about your life experiences. But people that want to make me apostatize, listen. I'm going to dodge those bullets because now I've been forewarned. And so therefore I'm forearmed. Do you understand that thing that I'm saying? Like, I've been forewarned. And so because I have been told what's coming, I'm not going anywhere. But, me experiencing what it is that I have been experiencing. Let's go back to 1 Peter. Yeah, my life... my life, right, is so hard. Life, oh life, oh life. Life, oh life, oh life. I was born in Jesus Christ, and then I said, Lord, do with me what you will, 'cause you're the king. And then they took advantage. Sometimes living as a Christian ain't as easy as it seems, but we were warned by Jesus Christ to expect all different kinds of buffoonery. Life, oh life, oh life, oh life, bim 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 boo, life. Oh life, oh life, oh life. How in the world am I looking for 1 Peter for so many years? Like it was open just now. What is wrong with me? I found it. I was entered into a severity of sorrow, a severity of pain, and I was disrespected. I was put in poverty, told that Unemployed was going to be my middle name, my middle ground. And I was like, I'm not feeling it, but it didn't matter that I wasn't feeling it. It was the thorn that was in my flesh, a messenger from Satan, and I was to take it. I was to take it to you, take it. I can have it to you, take it. I can touch it to you. Good David, I was told to just grab, girl. Run with the situation because it's just the way that it is. That's just the way it is, Karabo. Things will never be the same. I was like, but I don't like this. But that's the thing, right? I had to be mature about it. Here it is that I'm chilling in like an exorbitancy of poverty. And there is lack. Yet I have been provided for, but in ways that, I didn't quite appreciate some days. I didn't appreciate it. Why? Because I was fed the same way that our parents feed us when we're just little. With like whole mountains of pap and dollops of gravy. And one little indona for chicken. And a whole bunch of vegetables. And you gotta finish that food. Because if you don't, you're gonna get into trouble. Christianity is both a negative reinforcement walk as well as a positive reinforcement. If at all you have studied theories of management, of motivation, of behavior, behavioral psychology, training of behavior, you will know that there is this way of training people how to be called operant conditioning. So, I don't know if you've been listening to me consistently or whatever, but I made mention in one of my videos that people involved in the pseudoscience of psychology, some might argue that it's a science altogether, are more like misguided theists because they are trying to do away with the veracity of God, but they are searching the world out to try and explain the things going on in the mind, the soul, and the heart, but without acknowledging a holy God that created us, and so they come up with theories. Therefore, I don't throw our psychology out with the bathwater. Why? Because they are half right, or maybe even 60% right. It's just that they don't go all the way with their theories due to the fact that they don't want to acknowledge Jesus. They don't want to acknowledge their maker, but that is to be expected. Why? Because the world absolutely loathes the disciples. The world loathes their God, therefore we are born dead in trespasses and sins and in sins that our parents conceive us. So rather than admit that God is real, you would much rather innovate theories of behavioral training using psychological principles. You will invent theories of motivation, you will invent theories of the psyche, you will invent all different kinds of things to explain human behavior without admitting God. You will disregard altogether the fact that we are born dead in trespasses and sins, and that our hearts are deceitful above all things and desperately wicked. You don't want to believe that. You want to believe that human beings are inherently good, and that sin, there's nothing wrong with it, or that it doesn't exist at all, and so you come up with theories that help you understand why human beings are incontinent. They don't exercise self-control, and they just go and have sex everywhere all over the show like animals in the wilderness, and then mark their territory, because apparently sex is a very basic drive of ours that we need to just satiate at whatever cost. Thus saith Freud, and thus saith Maslow, hey! Thus saith Freud, thus saith Maslow, and thus saith Skinner. Basically just, human satiating, human satisfying theories that enable you to continue to be as base as human beings as you want to be, with there being a psychological explanation for it. Well, when we don't deal with the problem of sin, we then deal with the kind of chaoses that I am endured under right now in society, where it is that because of people just wanting to embrace their most basic instincts, they're now trashing a completely innocent woman. It literally just rises and rises and rises until you trash a completely innocent earth. Don't you see that's the reason why it is written in God's word in Romans, is it 8? That creation groans to see the sons of God revealed, because we're the only ones that basically make war with this thing, this flesh, the nyama, this body of ours that insists that we just need to go and dive into our most basic instincts like we're Trey songs. Problems for days. Solvable problems, but problems nonetheless that even though they've got a solution, don't nobody want to take it up. The road is narrow that leads to life and few people find it. The road is broad that leads to destruction and many enter into it, and it's easy. So for those reasons, this very easy road is preferred because people tend to be lazy. They would much rather comfort themselves in their wallowing sin than realize that they need a cure. And since most people don't want to take a cure, they hate those that have taken the cure. The anecdote, his name is Jesus. There is no name under heaven by which men must be saved other than his name. And those of us who admit it, God told us that whole life is going to happen. And he gave us such eerie accuracy as to how it's going to happen that we are without excuse when it happens. And then we fall away because it happened. Forewarned is forearmed. Cat!